Neither you should give up, neither you should be pessimistic. Every time you should be optimistic in your life that you are going to achieve your target. Once you gave up, once you surrendered, you are there, you are no more there. Well, this is Dr. Bhai Shar. Now I'm Vice Chancellor Shahid Alabak Sumro University of Art, Design and Heritages, Jamshoro. This is a newly established art and design university in the country. Formerly, this was known as Center of Excellence in Art and Design, Mehran University, Jamshoro, which now has been upgraded to a university. I would like to tell you my background. I belong to a very poor family, which I'm proud of. My father was a farmer, and he had I had 9 siblings. He had 9 children to look after. I was one of them. I'm second number. I have to go through a long struggle. Initially, I studied in government primary school, Mango Fakir Shar. Then I did my 8th class from the branch middle school, Mango Fakir Shar. And then I did matriculation from government high school, Tharimirwa. I did intermediate from government superior science college, Khairpur. So my all education is in the public sector. I have never had privilege of studying into private school or private colleges, which again I feel I'm proud of. When I was studying in 8th class, there was opportunity that time because the whole Sindh had only 2 intermediate boards, one in Karachi and one in Hyderabad. Our education certification assessment examination of 9th and metric was in the Board of Intermediate Secondary Education, Hyderabad. That time, I don't know, I'm talking about the year 1974. I don't know who was the chairman of the board, I don't know who was the controller of the board at all, but they had a policy that time that in order to encourage the education system in Sindh, they were conducting examination of 8th class, in the 8th class, and they were conducting only from the selected students of the 8th class so that they can offer a scholarship to the students. I was lucky enough that time that my teachers thought that I should be one of the candidates to appear into that. That exam was known as Middle Standards Examination that time. So I appeared in the examination, and from my school, only 2 candidates were successful. I got 2nd division, if I remember exactly. That was 2nd division, but 2nd division that time was prestigious. And I was awarded in 74 a scholarship of 110 rupees. And 110 rupees in 1974 were enough that only rupees 10 which my father gave me, and I gave 100 to my father and kept only 10 rupees. In 10 rupees I bought almost everything of my necessity, my shoes, my everything. And still I think I could save still I saved 4 or 5 rupees from that amount. So that was a big amount. I'm telling you, that was a big amount. Matriculation from Government High School, Tharimirwa. And in Government High School, Tharimirwa, only 2, that is 1976. In 1976, only 2 students secured 1st division from the high school, Tharimirwa. I was one of them. And then I went for further studies. Actually, I went to a government superior science college. I'm telling you one more thing, that we didn't have even fraction of hope, or I say only the iota of any doubt that we can copy in the school or we can copy in the college and we can pass through the copy. So the copy culture didn't exist till 1979. I'm telling you with my experience, and I think that is authoritative statement, that in intermediate or matric exams up to 1979 the copy culture didn't exist at all, or if it existed, that would be invisible. That was invisible otherwise. So there wasn't any copy culture. We had to depend only and only on the hard work and on the merits. And when I did my intermediate, that was in pre-medical because my parents wanted me to be a doctor. So in intermediate, in pre-medical, I secured 2nd division, and I was not successful to be admitted in any medical college that time, and that appeared to me a big impediment. Then I talked to my friend, then I talked my, some of the senior colleagues, my teachers, that now what should I do? One of my very good friend, but one of my very good teacher rather. He was not formal teacher, but he was actually the student of Mehran University of Engineering and Technology, Jamshoro, and he used to come over there simply to teach mathematics to the students of government, branch middle school, Bank of Fakir Shar. Engineer Niaz Shar. So he used to teach us mathematics. And when I was not successful in intermediate, after 4 or 5 years, then I again returned back to him to seek his advice. He said that you don't worry, you should change your group from pre-medical to pre-engineering. Then try. And he said, I'm hopeful that you will be successful in getting admission into any engineering university. I followed his advice. And I secured, without any copy, without any other support, on my own hard work, I secured distinction in 2 subjects of mathematics, which upgraded my intermediate results from second division to first division. Then I became the first divisioner and applied for admission to Mehran University. I was successful. I secured admission into a department of architecture. To be honest, it was very difficult even to spell out properly the architecture. It took me, I think, 2 days to rehearsal and remember the spell of architecture. Didn't know what this discipline would bring to me in the future. But because it was engineering university and everybody said that, well, congratulations, you are now the student of Mehran University. So anyway, I actually secured the admission in architecture. And architecture was not the popular discipline that time. Right? And that we were the first ever batch in architecture in Mehran University, 1980. That was the beginning of the new department of architecture that time in Mehran University. Anyway, I secured admission. And we were blessed that we had a chairman in the form of Professor Dr. Imtiaz Ali Pathan Sahab, a wonderful man, unimaginable. He was smart, he was handsome guy, handsome at heart, handsome at thought, handsome at his intention, and he took us like a children, like his own personal children. We were highly impressed. Very good education. That time there was an opportunity that in first year, if you're securing good marks, good percentage of marks, then probably you can change your discipline from architecture to another discipline of your choice. Because I was a hard worker even that time. So that opportunity came to me. I passed all the subjects, I got good results. So I had opportunity to change from architecture to another discipline. Could be mechanical, could be electrical, could be civil, but I opted not. And that was only because I didn't know. It was not because I knew that architecture would be the wonderful discipline in the future. But I saw Dr. Imtiaz Ali Pathan as the mentor, as the excellent human being. I wanted to stay under his blessings. So we continued, and I did my bachelor's in architecture back in 1986. But I would like to tell you another part of my story. Because I belong to a very poor family from rural area of Sindh, that is village Mango Fakir Share, and the whole world to me that time was from Mango Fakir to Thari Mirwa. That was total universe for me. And when I secured admission into intermediate and I had to go to Khairpur, I think that was in a way very first time to see on my way to Khairpur a train was running on the tracks, and looked at it with immense surprise that what type of vehicle, very long vehicle is going, and we had to stop on Phatak. So that was amazing. That was very much enjoyable experience. I was enjoying while seeing a train moving on the tracks. And then another, I'll tell you, that I had first time seen the television back in 1975. So this is, the journey. And when I came here, I was not familiar with the Jamshoro at all. When first day I had to come into the classes, I sat into the SRTC bus from Hyderabad, and I came to Jamshoro, and somebody told me that the last stop would be the Mehran University. So you don't worry that you will disappear here or there. You will get there. So I was sitting into the SRTC bus. Bus came from the Phatak, from the University of Sindh, then Mehran University, then bus was going to from Mari hostel to highway. Still I was waiting to see the last stop. Some of the students, they were getting off from the bus, and some of them were climbing up. So I couldn't find the Mehran University. Then I asked from the cleaner, "Gentlemen, can you help me? Where is the Mehran University?" You say, "Poor boy, Mehran University, Baba hu to bamela poite thi, kade to nye charya, lao ite poite kai bi bus mein banja." And then I got off from the bus and I again reached to the Mehran University. That was the way I could find the Mehran University. And in Mehran University, I was residing in the hostel, and we continued to work hard. And I remember that probably it was not easy for my parents to afford the cost of the education, but we still managed without borrowing anything. But still we managed economically. We studied economically, but continued to do the hard work, continued to live with the dignity, continued to live with the pride of securing admission in a highly prestigious institution and being one of the student of a university. That financial matters didn't hurdle me or didn't demoralize me at all. And we stayed there with the dignity, with the pride, and I was successful in the final year. I couldn't secure position first, second, third, but fourth one. Again, it was good. I didn't mind. I said it was okay. Anyway, then I joined a private company, Rizki & Company, where I did learn the architecture in the professional field with the professional people. And then I joined Mehran University as a lecturer in 1988. And from 88, I was again upgraded to the position of assistant professor in 1992. But before being upgraded to the position of assistant professor, I was elected, or with very good majority, as General Secretary of Mehran University Teachers Association. Actually, my colleagues conspired me for this being the candidate or to contest the elections. I was not willing because I had only 3 years, less than 3 years in the university as a lecturer, very junior person, and General Secretary position was very much higher. But because of being social, I knew every one of my teachers, of faculty of the university, and all the faculty knew me with good regards, and that gave me this opportunity to become the General Secretary of Mehran University Teachers Association. But I would say very first junior most elected General Secretary of the MUTA in the history of MUTA. Anybody can go and look at it. I was a lecturer. Before me, nobody, even the position of assistant professor, could become the General Secretary. General Secretary was for the most senior people, associate professors and the professors. But with me, this tradition was broken. A new tradition was set to become a youngest person could be the General Secretary, could come and effectively and efficiently contribute to the just cause of the teachers. And we did that. And we set examples. We had plans of, long range plannings. I don't do the short term plannings, but the long term plannings. So that the people after 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 100 years can get maximum benefit out of it. And we introduced, in the Teachers Association, we introduced there the Teachers Welfare Association. And in Welfare Association, we started to contribute ₹15 per faculty, and so that we can develop a pool of the money, and every one of us can get in return the loans from that welfare association and can use for an essential purpose. That amount now runs in millions, and it's very short span of time. We established in 1992. Today we are talking in 2020, so it's only 28 years. In 28 years, it's not long. 20 years is very short span of time. We started off with and 50,000 rupees, 50,000, the complete asset of the welfare association. Now it runs into millions, and it is being enhanced every month. And that same, actually, we started here later on. In Mehran University then, because Dr. Imtiaz Pathan inspired me, because he was PhD himself, he inspired us to go for the higher education, to do the PhDs. I didn't know actually what would be the benefit of the PhD towards the end of my career. I didn't realize that to the extent I got it. And then I struggled to get this scholarship, and I was lucky to get a scholarship from the funds of the university. And then I completed my PhD from the University of Newcastle upon Tyne, England. And I finished my PhD in 2002. But before finishing my PhD, in the year 99, I applied for a lottery, green card lottery of United States of America. And because everybody thought that, if you were successful, you should live in America, you should live in England, you should live in Europe. So my even thought was tinted, that inspiration which was from the people. So I applied for that, and I was again lucky enough. So I was successful in winning the visa lottery for United States of America. It was not actually me, but my wife. She won. She was the principal candidate to win. I applied, I sent 2 applications with my name as my children is dependent, my wife is dependent. In another application, my wife was the principal candidate, I was the dependent, and my children was dependent of her. And she was more lucky than me. She actually won the lottery. And we processed the case. And we got the green card of United States of America. Then I went there with my family. After doing my PhD, I stayed there for 1.5 years. And in 1.5 years, I was thinking only 2 major things which were influencing my decisions. There were 2 things. Number 1, because I felt that I had lived in England, I gathered from the people, from the institutions, from the environment, from their richness, from their being dominating political, economic and military power of the world. I was trying to gather the fundamental. What are the fundamentals which earned them this position in the small globe? I didn't find anything else but the hard work of the people, the commitment of the people with the country, their sincerity in working for their own nation. Nothing else. They didn't have the mining reserves like we have. We are lucky enough to have the mining reserves. We are lucky enough to have the advanced irrigation system, the huge expanded irrigation system, the huge land farms. They were not lucky enough, but they were sincere, they were patriot to the level of death. They loved their country, they loved their nation. Absolute majority of them, they loved their nation. If I say not 100%, but absolute majority of them. And I gathered that that was the only thing which we as a nation are lacking. But every else is with us, not even in your geniusness, in your intelligence, in your technical know-how, in your political wisdom. I didn't find much people better than us. I found them, everybody was average. But still they ruled the world. Even the average people, they were committed, they were patriot. They were not divided into Christians, Jews, Muslims, and various languages. There wasn't any polarization, linguistic polarization, anything. Everybody was working for the country, and everybody was loving everybody else. They make their country as a practical paradise, which we dream that we will get after death. But they were living in a paradise. Only because patriotism, sincerity, hard work, commitment to the nation, for the country. So that was something which was actually pinching me, that why we wish to stay in West, why we wish to stay in America. In staying in America, we know that we can simply earn our good livelihood along with my children, with my family, but I was unable to offer anything to my nation at all. Not even nation, I was unable even to offer anything to my close family, to my community which I belong to. So I thought I should give up this green card. I should go back and experiment what I learned, to experiment the commitment, to experiment the hard work, to experiment the patriotism, and let's see the results. I think today I can claim that it works. It worked. In my case, it worked. And it can work in every single person's case. It's working, it's workable. People were saying that, well, this is the country which only Rishwat, blah blah, XYZ, Safarish. I said, no, I don't agree with that. Could be some people, but it didn't mean that your hard work will be compromised or it would not earn anything to you. So because of that feeling, that was one major feeling, I had to return back and I had to surrender the green card of United States of America, the powerful, the in unipolar world, the powerful country in the world. I surrendered it. I said we can make our nation as better as the United States of America if we are preparing, if we change the culture, if we sit together, if we talk, and if we encourage, inspire each other, if we can change the thinking process of the people, if we bring the merit, we can become a very powerful country of the world. If we leave the polarizations, if we leave all prejudices against each other, if we surrender them, if we kill them, if we become one united people of a country, we can go anywhere, we can achieve any target. So that was the main reason I surrendered my nationality in process of United States of America. I returned back in 2004 to join again as assistant professor in Mehran University. Then in year 2005, I was selected as full-fledged professor in the university. And that time, luckily, professors were upgraded by a Higher Education Commission Islamabad from grade 20 to grade 21. So in my life, I've seen grade 17, I've enjoyed grade 18, and then grade 21. And then in year 2007, I was given this assignment to become the Director, Center of Excellence in Art and Design, Mehran University, Jamshedpur. That time, the situation of center was that Higher Education Commission, Islamabad, which was the only funding agency for the center, which was the only agency which could allow this center to function and offer degrees, higher degrees, to offer bachelor degrees or masters or whatever. That was the only agency in the country. So this was completely dependent upon the Higher Education Commission, Islamabad. When I joined here, this institution was running into what crisis? Running into deep crisis. And Higher Education Commission warned this institution, and that letter is still recorded. That letter is still available. Letter of 2007. Higher Education warned that if you people, if you are not coming into senses, if you stay fighting each other, we will stop funds. Stopping funds means closing down the institution. So this institution was at the verge of collapse. I remember the Vice Chancellor of Mehran University that time, since he was recommending my name, he told me, he asked me rather, Bhai, you know the depth of the crisis in this center? Yes, sir, I know that. I know every single difficulty is running there, and that gives me sadness. He said, in this deep crisis, will you be able to run this institution and survive? I said, sir, I'll put all my energies. I don't know the results, but I'm sure that I'll put all my energies, I'll invest all my wisdom to reunite this institution and run it successfully. I think within 2 years of the time, this institution came into the position not only of existence, but to take off. Or let's say this way, that in 2 years we settled everything down. We settled the stage, we settled the hard work, the academics, everything was settled. The employees, academics, they all united together in 2 years. All the polarization, everything was deleted, that was killed, and we become a united institution. In say next 2 years, we came into the position to take off, and that was the highest privilege for me when I received that remarks from the Executive Director of Higher Education, Islamabad, Professor Dr. Suhail Naqvi. When I went there, and think it luckily that even the Vice Chancellor came there, and we both met to the ED. And when we were sitting with the ED, still I was trying to convince him that we are no more institution which saw 4 years ago. It's totally different. We have been working hard. We have made everything, and we are preparing. And I said, I believe that in next couple of years we'll take off. We can take off. And he said smilingly, he said, Dr. Bhai Khan, you have already taken off. And that was the huge pride for me, that a person in a position, in the presence of my Vice Chancellor, he gave that comments. And in fact, yes, we had already taken off. So that was one stage that we had to show, we had to demonstrate that we are an integrated, committed institution offering highly education of highest quality. That was setting the scene, setting the stage to be upgraded to a higher level, that is the university. And now, with the grace of Almighty, the grace of the God, with the hard work of everybody involved in the Center of Excellence in Art and Design, in whatever capacity, the peons, chokidars, malhis, security, clerics, officers, faculty, even the students, everybody contributed to make this institution prestigious institution of the country. And we feel proud of it, that now we have been rewarded with a gift to become the first ever University of Art, Design and Heritages in public sector in the country. Okay, lastly, my message for the youth, for the young. I am telling you, this world is very difficult world. You cannot get anything easily. You have to put efforts, you have to put energies, but number one thing, topmost one thing, neither you should give up, neither you should be pessimistic. Every time you should be optimistic in your life that you are going to achieve your target. Once you gave up, once you surrendered, you are there, you are no more there. You would be living dead. So don't even bring the pessimism near to you. Even if you find your friend is pessimistic, try to inspire him that pessimism is the death, optimism is the life, and continue your hard work. It's not only one field. People were saying when I was getting admission in architecture, they say, architecture is rubbish, nobody knows. But I said, no, any discipline is rubbish. All the disciplines are wonderful. You can make the discipline wonderful, you can make yourself, because of the discipline, worst or the best. Never give up. Number two, never ever try to be the rich in money. You shouldn't follow the money. Money is your worst enemy, I tell you. Money would be the worst ever enemy. If you're running behind the money, you will get nothing. Run behind the merits. Run behind, you make yourself eligible, suitable for this world, for any position. Anybody who is behind the money, to me, is a living dead person. Has filled accounts. 2 crore rupees, 10 crore rupees, 2 billion in the account, but they are living dead. They are becoming the servant of the thing, of the money, which they have earned. They become servant of it, trying to save it, safeguard it. Okay? So never ever think to be rich. Think to be rich in academics. Think to be rich in intellectual. Think to be rich in your commitment, in your generosity, but not the money. So these are the two my messages for the youth. Thank you very much. Thank you.